episode of Otaku Evolution. I'm your host, Penguin Truth, and today I'll be taking a look at a long-running anime franchise based on a Shonen Jump manga. You know it, you love it, it's not quite Dragon Ball, but just the same Funimation wanted it. It's Yu Yu Hakusho. I think the best way to do this is by talking a bit about the show broadly, and then talking more specifically about one of the standalone features, the Golden Seal. I wasn't going to review the whole damn show, after all, and... Wait, what? What is this? What's going on? Hey, oh, what you doing there reviewing Yu Yu Hakusho? Not without me, you dopey mook. Bancho Truth? How are you even getting in on this feed? Forget about it. I just got resources. Last time you just jumped me, knocked me out, and stole my camera. Hey, violence is one of my resources. It's my main export. That aside, you must be Ubats not to call me in for this thing. Yu Yu Hakusho is one of my favorite anime. What, really? Why is... Ah, right. The whole delinquent culture thing. Look, I'd love to team up with you for this review, but, I'm afraid there's kind of an obstacle to it. Oh, do tell, Johnny Ivory Tower. I loathe you. Now get out of my video, you dull-witted thug. You know, not for nothing, it's my experience in being, as you said, a thug. That makes me particularly, well-groomed to review this here title. Well, we might as well get to it. Take it away, Hammerhair. Yu Yu Hakusho is the story of delinquent extraordinaire Yusuke Urameshi, a roughneck with a heart of gold who can save your ass when he's not kicking it. In fact, he pushes a little brat out of the way of a car and bam! Street pizza. But that ain't the end, folks. That's just the beginning. Turns out the powers that be in the afterlife think he's so fucking baller, they give him a trial to see if he's badass enough to earn an extra life. Must be hard mode, eh? Long story short, my man Yusuke is soon back causing trouble and full of piss and vinegar. Also, he can shoot a laser from his fingertip. That's a spirit weapon, you cuffon! Same difference, you shitlicker. Yusuke becomes the Spirit World's secret agent in The Living One, a spirit detective who takes on supernatural crimes involving demons and the like. He even ends up teaming up with two demons trying to reform. Kurama, a fox demon spirit who reincarnated himself as a human boy, and Hiei, a living Napoleon complex with a Vegeta haircut. Oh, also there's motherfucking Kuwabara. This guy personifies the Bancho style with his bright red pompadour and Seirashi underneath his uniform. Best yet, in the English version, he's voiced by the man, the myth, the legend, Chris Sabat.
Oh, that was a freebie. Spirit!
Yeah. Chris Sabat. I'll get into that amazing performance in the mid-year dub review.
Now let's talk about the tournaments. Like all long-running shonen of the time, there was a tournament arc. It was like a rule at the time. Not that I'm complaining, mind you. I was running books on who'd win.
You were taking bets on a fictional tournament. That is just sad.
Said nothing. I made a lot of coin that year.
Actually, there wasn't just a single tournament. There was kind of three of them. The first one was a small competition to see who was worthy of learning the training of this secretive sage, Genkai, one of the fiercest little old ladies in anime history. Yusuke only barely wins out and receives her special schooling. Later, there's a giant story arc that takes up an enormous portion of the series, the Dark Tournament.
Yusuke enters with his buddies at the, behest of this walking mountain of a man named Toguro, who was once that old broad's fuck buddy, back when, you know, she wasn't all dried up. He wants somebody worth rumbling with and figures Yusuke could be the guy.
Still later, there's yet another tournament held in the demon world for control of that realm. It's the last story arc of the series, too. It's comparatively short, only a few episodes, and Yusuke learns there are limits even to his strength. While the movies for long runners tend not to be written by the actual original author of the manga it's based on, often they have the general thrust of the characters, the relationships, and the flavor of the franchise. It would be mistaken to discount them just for being non-canon.
Yeah, but why did you pick the Golden Seal? It's about the length of a filler episode. I mean, shit, man. I couldn't even finish my Aunt Nunzio's chicken parm sandwich in that time.
Because I'm not putting up with the English dub for that other one. Let's get to it already, because I have this damn limit on my video length right now, and
so this flick picks up with Yusuke and Kuwabara about ready to stomp on an army of toughs like only they can do. Kinda unfair considering their spirit powers, but fuck, I bet that would have been fun if the Grim Reaper dame hadn't given them fighting blue balls by interrupting. Turns out her boss and Yusuke's, kinda, Koenma, was kidnapped when he was on the beach. Should have stayed out of fucking sandals. Anyway, the demand by the abductors are the Golden Seal that is used for official mandates.
Yusuke pockets the seal to go after the payoff point, while Koenma's captors mock and menace him in a volcanic cavern in, the underworld? Demon realm? Not sure. I don't think they ever say. Anyway, he's having a tough time of it, and you'd think the prince of the spirit world would have a hardier constitution. You see, Koenma here is the son of Enmadayo, or Lord Yama in mythology. This giant ogre who judges you after your death. In manga and anime, it's become popular to depict him as being the head of some kind of cosmic bureaucracy. Just look at Dragon Ball Z. Koenma, his progeny, seems to have the lion's share of paperwork, and has it rough enough without being tortured by some little pissant and a giant demon. Poor little pacifier junkie.
Naturally, the feature's padded with Yusuke and Kuwabara running the gauntlet on their way to the big beds. They run into trouble in the forest of hentai when the trees spring violating tentacles. But they're saved by everyone's favorite Bishi and tsundere anti-hero who become playable characters or something.
Yusuke arrives at the, place where the villains are, and just hands over the Golden Seal. But surprise, surprise, turns out that the little guy's henchman actually played him, and does this count as hijacked by Ganon? Anyhoozle, the big guy is actually a much more threatening-looking demon. He proceeds to dominate Yusuke, but Yusuke is not going to give up.
I'm not done! There's no way! That attack should have broken every bone in your body. How can you still be asking for more? Why are you risking your life for that privileged 700-year-old toddler?
Because if it wasn't for that privileged toddler, I wouldn't have a life to risk.
Yusuke?
Oh, and now you're paying him back? I feel so warm and fuzzy.
Well, try to enjoy it, because pretty soon you won't feel anything at all.
The big problem in fighting this guy is that he can absorb the spirit energy directed at him and fire it back at our hero. But Yusuke avoids the blast and the villain gets splashed with some molten lava. Come to think of it, how is it that anyone here could be near the lava without bursting into flames? Fiction does not understand lava. But, whatever, demons and the like.
Trust me, you lip-dick. Plenty of guys can get doused with liquid death and only get angrier. Saw it happen to many of my Bob's friends from the old country when they settled a beef with the triads on Canal Street in the early 90s.
Gee, I thought you were Japanese. I mean, what with your thick Japanese accent and all.
Wisen up, you jerk-off! Fucking Kagakazo! My pops is Italian-American and my mom's Japanese. Capo and a Yakuza princess.
Why is it that I'm finding your story more interesting than this movie?
Yusuke makes his final stand, which is easier cause Big Bad's got his fucking reflecting thing stuck shut from the hot sauce. He fires a full-blast spirit gun, annihilating the douchebag. He retrieves the golden seal, and all is well that ends well.
Well, actually, it's at this point we discover that the little brat hated Koenma because once when he was preparing to spring a present on a girl he liked, Koenma cock-blocked him, and he's been sore at him ever since. Fuck, is that a dumb motivation? But perfectly apt for this pointless feature. Well, at least we got some creativity in how Yusuke defeated the demon. It's something I really like about Yu Yu Hakusho, that the battles are rarely settled with just pure brute force. Oftentimes, as powerful as Yusuke and his allies are, they're matched by their opponents, if not outright outclassed, and have to do a bit of thinking, whether premeditated or improvised. It shows a real train of thought, that the fighters fight smart, not just hard. But then again, just as often, their victories turn out to be flukes.
If you hadn't figured out that busting that wall would spray magma on that guy and keep his mirror thingy from opening, he probably would have killed us all. And then who knows what would have happened to Spirit World.
Yeah, that was some kind of fluke. What?
A fluke?
Well, yeah, it's not like I planned it. I just shot him because I ran out of ideas.
What kind of spirit detective are you, Meshi?
Yeah, that happens in the main series too, but here it's just a shit cherry on a garbage sundae. This movie is not a good representation of the series because, frankly, it does the bare minimum with the concepts.
And fuck, man, what was with Karama, Hiei, and Kuwabara? They just stood around with their dicks in their hands. This ain't no tournament, you jamokes. Lend a fucking hand, would ya? How about that darkness flame thing Hiei's got?
Coolest attack in the show, by the way. You know, it could be that this movie takes place before they started using all their best moves. You know, pre-Dark Tournament.
Makes sense, I guess. But that's the only thing that makes sense. You should have covered an arc of the TV show. Could do a whole series of vids on each arc.
Well, I do have a Patreon.
If you're willing to... Oh, wow, look at the time, and it looks like it's gonna rain, too. Better fuck on off. Come on, gang.
Figures.
So, anyone up for some yakitori? Orawa's got a great yatai. We can chase it with my Aunt Angeline Sfiadel and some cappuccino.